Honorable Supreme Court of India has ruled that a plaint cannot be dismissed in its entirety under Order VII Rule 11 of the Code of Civil Procedure just because one of the reliefs claimed is legally unsustainable. If the plaint also contains another maintainable relief that arises from a distinct cause of action, it must be considered. This ratio has been laid down in Civil Appeal number 7109 of 2025 in the case of Vinod Infra Developers Limited versus Mahavir Lunia and others. In paragraph 4.2 of the judgment, Honorable Supreme Court has dealt with the two separate reliefs claimed and has held that the suit was based on two separate and distinct cause of actions. First, the unregistered agreement to sell dated 25/5/2014 being in nature of a mortgage, and second, the execution of sale deeds dated 13/7/2022 and 14/7/2022, which were registered on 19/7/2022, subsequent to the revocation of the power of attorney dated 27/5/2022. Honorable Supreme Court held that the High Court had erroneously treated the entire plaint as unsustainable based on the alleged invalidity of the first cause of action without adjudicating upon the second. Thereafter, from paragraphs 4.3 to paragraph 4.7, Honorable Court has dealt with the second relief that was claimed and which needed adjudication. In paragraph 5.2 onwards, Honorable Supreme Court has held that the High Court rightly held that the plaint was drafted in a manner intended to abuse the judicial process by disguising a completed sale transaction as a mortgage and claiming reliefs without proper pleading or court fees. As per Section 207 of Rajasthan Tenancy Act 1955, suits relating to khatedari, rights and recovery of possession based on tenancy or mortgage issues fall within the exclusive jurisdiction of the revenue courts. The appellant themselves claimed to be khatedars, tenants, seeking restoration of such rights upon cancellation of the sale deed. Hence, the suit lies outside the jurisdiction of civil court and was triable by revenue court only. The appellant had merged the relief of redemption of mortgage into declaratory reliefs without separately praying for redemption or paying the necessary court fees. This improper pleading supports the High Court's conclusion that the suit is not maintainable. Thereafter, in paragraph 8, Honorable Supreme Court has held that the position of law is that rejection of plaint under Order 7 Rule 11 CPC is permissible only when the plaint, on its face and without considering the defense, fails to disclose a cause of action, is barred by any law, is undervalued, or is insufficiently stamped. At this preliminary stage, the court is required to confine its examination strictly to the averments made in the plaint and not venture into the merits or veracity of the claims. If any triable issue arise from the pleadings, the suit cannot be summarily dismissed. Keeping in mind this settled principle of law, we proceed to examine whether the High Court was justified in rejecting the plaint under Order 7 Rule 11 CPC. Thereafter, in paragraph 9.6, Honorable Supreme Court has held that, however, the High Court erred in treating the second cause of action pertaining to the sale deeds registered on 19/7/2022 as merely academic and proceeded to reject the plaint in its entirety without undertaking a judicial examination of this distinct issue. This approach is contrary to the well-settled legal principle that a plaint may be rejected under Order 7 Rule 11 CPC only if, on a plain reading of the plaint, it discloses no cause of action or falls within the other narrow defined grounds set under the said provision, such as undervaluation, insufficient court fees, or bar by any law. In this context, we may place reliance on the judgment in Central Bank of India, wherein this court, while examining the jurisdiction of civil courts in disputes invoking immovable property and proceedings under SARFAESI Act 2002 held that a plaint cannot be rejected in its entirety merely because one of the prayers or reliefs sought is legally untenable so long as the other reliefs are maintainable and based on independent cause of action. Thereafter, Honorable Supreme Court has quoted the relevant paragraph of the said judgment.